sports between the Kansas City Current and the San Diego Wave. Alongside Eric Dobransky, I'm Maura Sheridan. As the water is rising, so brace yourself, everybody. Glad to have you along with us in Kansas City as we get prepared for this match. Two teams in separate positions in the standing. Now we'll take a look as in the NWSL, Eric, San Diego at the very top, and you see in 11th Kansas City.
And for San Diego, off to a 4-2 start this season, has been really consistent in both boxes, offensively and defensively. And for Kansas City, really important to start stringing positive results together.
Well, Kansas City finally got a win against Louisville on Monday, and now they're just looking for more production.
And the framework and the opportunities are there. It's just going to start with consistency in both boxes, finishing chances that they create, and limiting opponents offensively.
Well, Lola Bonta made some noise on Monday. Glad to have her back on the Kansas City side.
Just so influential on and off the ball, as we saw in her return last match. Not only did she score the eventual game-winning penalty kick in her 100th appearance, but she was so instrumental in her team's defensive performance as well.
And here's that lineup for Kansas City.
And some of the keys for Kansas City tonight will not only be screening and the denial of early entry passes in attacking areas, but it's going to be controlling the pace and the tempo. Look for this front line of Hamilton and Bennett to contribute to that performance and the role that Desiree Scott will play as she sits in front of this back three.
And then on the flip side for San Diego, consistency hasn't been a problem, but what's their next step, Eric?
Continue the trend. They are finishing up a string of 4 road games, and their only 2 losses thus far have been on the road, albeit close 1-0 games. But it's going to be a matchup that rewards teams that convert opportunities, and somebody that's going to be crucial to that is this player right here, Alex Morgan. Goals change games, and Alex Morgan will finish and find opportunities in a variety of different ways. And on the ball, it's the ability to break lines on the dribble, along with the terrific ability of presenting options and angles for her team as they play through the lines.
Well, Alex Morgan in her typical spot in the starting lineup for San Diego.
And this is going to be a team that continues to be extremely consistent in both boxes, as we mentioned. Solid defensive shape leads to positive attacking opportunities, and tonight it'll be really effective recognizing scenarios in which they can take advantage of exposing space and behind in those wide areas. I'll be fascinated with the matchup of Taylor Korniak and Desiree Scott, as those second balls in midfield will be really vital to the result tonight.
Current and Wave coming up, and hey, the NWSL and its teams are proud to celebrate Pride Month and recognize the amazing LGBTQIA+ community of players, coaches, and fans of the league. Let's take in the scene as Kansas City celebrates tonight. In the starting lineup for San Diego.
And this is going to be a team that continues.
Moments ago, both teams observed a moment of silence mourning the lives lost in the senseless act of violence that took place in Uvalde, Texas. Of course, our heartfelt condolences go out to the victims and their loved ones during this unimaginable time. And we are ready for San Diego versus Kansas City. Again, the first ever meeting between these two sides. San Diego, of course, is an expansion club, and Kansas City was an expansion club last year, so they know a little bit about that game. Alongside Eric Dobransky, I'm Maura Sheridan. Again, glad to have you along with us in this Saturday night showdown as Alex Morgan and the rest of the team, the fans, everybody here at Children Mercy Park in Kansas City celebrate Pride Night, extra special night. And of course, it's always extra special when Alex Morgan rolls into town. San Diego in all white today. So again, the fans extremely pumped up for this one. Also because Kansas City, Eric, is coming off a win, and they didn't have one until Monday against Louisville, and it was a really solid performance. Won 1-0, and LaBonta, you see her right there, with a beautiful PK to open the game, and that was the difference.
And really, I just think we're in for such a tremendous matchup tonight because, as you mentioned, Kansas City Current coming off a performance on Monday, that 1-0 win over Racing Louisville, just that complete performance. Obviously, they got the early goal, as you said, from Lola Bonta's penalty kick that was drawn from Victoria Pickett, the brilliance inside the box and really creating that dangerous opportunity. But then you have San Diego Wave, who are off to a flying start, 4-2. Their only 2 losses coming on the road, really tight games on the road. Kansas City has to look at these games and start picking up points, whether it's a draw. 3 points will be huge here at home. And both teams really growing into their identities in terms of what they want to look like tactically, on the ball, off the ball, the principles of play. So it's just a really exciting matchup and really going to highlight here early on in the first 10-15 minutes and see how both these teams line up and really look to attack different spaces.
Well, Kansas City's in red. They've got the mint-colored, teal-colored socks. So you see all the fans. Again, there's a big San Diego crowd here, too. Just really excited for both sides. But Kansas City, the home team. Van Egmond back for the Wave. Well, it is San Diego who right now is at first in the standings in the NWSL. They are coming off a loss, while Kansas City did win their last game. And it was a very tight contest for San Diego against OL Reign. Ultimately came down to a perfect header from Rose Lavelle on a beautiful service from Huerta on the Seattle side. But I don't want to say there's been woes for San Diego, but they've had some problems on the road. They're just 2-2 away from Torero Stadium, so that's something they would like to clean up, and it's a great opportunity to do it here today.
Well, I think to add to that as well, for San Diego, it's who's going to join those attacking sequences along with Alex Morgan, because out of the 8 goals they have thus far this season, 6 of them are from Alex Morgan. You know, obviously that's a tremendous number, but how long and how sustainable is that throughout the rest of the season? And we talk about, you know, whether it's a scouting report, whether it's just getting to know the identities of your opponents, you know, those things are going to start to be highlighted in scouting reports and those moments where you're trying to get your team ready defensively. So who for San Diego is going to continue to step up in those attacking moments and those sequences and really help Alex Morgan as well?
Well, although she committed the foul, Jodie Taylor might be a good option. Already has a goal with San Diego, but now they have to defend a free kick here for Kansas City. Back to take it is Loera off her right foot, charging in. No one gets a clean look off the bounce, though. Here's Bennett. Goes to work on the right wing. Pushed out.
Now, with that said, Alex Morgan has scored a number of penalty kicks this season, and typically penalty kicks are created in those team opportunities, in the build-up play, in the moments where you're creating and you're linking up and you're really connecting in that final third, and you're causing an opponent to foul you in a dangerous area and in the 18-yard box. So they're creating those chances. And then on the other side for Kansas City, you have to start converting some of the chances that you're creating. And I'll go back to what we said in the open. You know, regardless of what some people think about stats and different numbers, when you're consistent and good in both boxes, in both 18-yard boxes, you're going to find success. And you look at San Diego, 8 goals for, only 3 goals against. And then you look at Kansas City Current, only 3 goals scored thus far in the season, and 2 of those being in their 2-2 draw against Orlando Pride, and then 9 goals against. So those are just teams that are trending in different directions in terms of how they look in both boxes. So for Kansas City, those 3 points earlier this week is huge.
Here's a chance, and Sheridan gets there first. That's some pressure for Kansas City as Sheridan, sounds like she just said, keep your head on a swivel. Caitlin Sheridan for San Diego has been phenomenal. So has Adie Franch, but like you mentioned, Very different seasons for the keepers. Franch has 27 saves for Kansas City. She's been asked to do a lot through 6 games. That is the most in the NWSL. Meanwhile, for Kaylin Sheridan, she's just allowed 3 goals, and so that's a 0.5 if you were wondering per game. And she has an 85.7% save percentage, which is tied for the best mark in the NWSL, along with Tullis Joyce from OL Reign. Just trying to gain control. Korniak goes wide with it. McGrady off the touch from Morgan. Left for Taylor. This one bounces off, and Franch chips it through the air. You can see that most of the pitch is covered in shade, but there's that little spot where the sun might be kind of tough in players' eyes. Morgan offside.
And I think that's something that we're going to see here early on from San Diego, is testing that space in behind Delfava and Edmonds, and really trying to move that back 3 of Loera, Ball, and Weinbrenner, really trying to open up space so Jody Taylor can operate in different areas, and Belle Breedy can operate in different areas as well.
Just took a look at Casey Stoney, head coach for San Diego, of course, in her first season. Hamilton controls, doesn't have numbers. Delfava. Defense swarms, Ball boxes out. She's been phenomenal as of late. Excuse me, that's Gurma, who has also been phenomenal as of late for San Diego. A lot of people are just talking about the way she's just stepped up into the San Diego role, and obviously Stoney came in and was thinking, you know, I do want to pick up some really good defenders. She drafts Gurma, and then she also signs Dahlkemper, who's out today. But Gurma's just moved into that role at center back, and she doesn't play like she's 21, and it turns out that's a great draft pick for Stoney and her expansion side.
Yeah, and to add to that, it's her playmaking ability, like balls like this out of the back that, you know, obviously the ball rolls out of bounds, but it's the playmaking ability and the vision that Gurma has playing that center back role. So not only doing and playing at a high level defensively, but the ability to create from deeper positions is so important for teams.
See Matt Potter, head coach for Kansas City, also in his first year with the Current. And again, had a very successful campaign in the Challenge Cup, and it just hasn't gone as well for Kansas City to start the regular season. You mentioned that one tie against Orlando 2-2. That was a crazy finish, which Orlando has been prone to this year. And other than that, it was all losses, 4 losses until the Louisville game. But it's important to note, a lot of players were out and injured, and they're still without Sam Mewis. Haven't really heard a timetable of when she will return. Gurma, again drafted out of Stanford. See a lot of Cardinals trickled throughout the NWSL.
And going back to your point of the Challenge Cup as well, and going back to the matchup overall tonight, you have 2 teams that really performed differently in that Challenge Cup. The one win for San Diego Wave, they went 1-3-2, and Kansas City going 4-1-1, and then now here in the regular season, San Diego really playing in good form and good consistency with that 4-2 start, finding themselves atop the league, playing with a lot of confidence, and now that performance earlier in the week for Kansas City. This is a team that can really start picking up positive results, and a lot of teams and coaches know that as well.
Pickett to Bennett, slices it all the way over. Delfava thought that would go out. Obanta surveys to Hamilton. Offside. Well, early on, Kansas City has been able to get in the box a couple of times here against San Diego. It hasn't been easy for a lot of teams this year.
They have. You could see that in that sequence right there, the commitment to getting numbers in the final third and getting Lola Bonta on the ball there right atop the 18-yard box. And really for San Diego so far, it's just been a bit isolated in dumping some of the balls over the top.
Ball turns on the Jets and ball. A lot of praise from the fan base, from her head coach, for Elizabeth Ball. She's moved into that central role, which is not where she was playing at the beginning of the season. And Potter has said that, especially after that Louisville performance when she pretty much stifled McDonald and company, they're going to leave her there because, you know, why change something that's working so well? And she's worked so hard in practice. Bennett wide on a shot, defense back, and you can just see the speed from Elise Bennett and what she offers for the Current on the other side. This crowd is very animated today as LaBonta sets up on this set piece. Short pass, Pickett. Back to LaBonta. Left-footed cross, headed home! Hamilton with her 19th career goal makes it 1-0 Kansas City.
And you felt it and you were seeing it. Kansas City off to a terrific start here within the first 11 minutes. And you see San Diego playing on their heels. They were really pinned back in their own half. And for Kansas City, just such a well-worked set piece here. Starting the set piece and initiating it with a short pass, and then Lola Bonta getting back involved in the play, and that left-footed service there, finding Hamilton on the end of it. And what a start for the KC Current and Matt Potter's side.
Yeah, these Kansas City fans are turned up, really excited here again on Pride Night as Hamilton in the 11th minute scores for Kansas City. Again, that's just the 4th goal given up by San Diego this year, but it was interesting because we were talking to assistant coach Rich Gunny, and he was saying they really need to work on those set pieces, and you just saw Kansas City score on one.
Well, and when he was mentioning the set pieces and we were talking to him about defending set pieces, was the frustration that on both sides they're scripted plays. Offensively, they're scripted for what the runners, you want the runners to look like in terms of the spaces they occupy and the spaces they open up. And then defensively, the areas that are covered and those areas that are protected. But that's why you see some teams, and you saw it in the short service, the short corner there, is on short corners, you get some of the pieces that are scripted, they really nullified a bit because you get some different movement. So you go short and then you play short again, and then you get different space that becomes available. And you saw it there with Kristen Hamilton. But the execution on the service, the execution on the runs, that is just a really well-worked corner kick taken by Kansas City.
Bennett, right wing swerves through. Deflected out, cleared by San Diego, but again, penetrating that box for Kansas City. Possession back with the Current. Loera settles.
And I think if there was a textbook way to look at building off momentum, Kansas City has done it here thus far. You pick up 3 points earlier in the week, really with a complete performance, scoring early and then really playing well defensively against Racing Louisville.
That cross unsuccessful from LaBonta.
And just come out flying tonight. They're playing on the front foot. They're really finding a lot of space. And you mentioned it, only 4 goals conceded from San Diego, and this is only the 2nd goal conceded in the first half by San Diego.
And now Hamilton is Kansas City's first multi-goal scorer, as mention the fact that Hamilton now has 19 career goals with that last header in. In fact, she kind of shares a very interesting stat with Alex Morgan. They are one of 3 players to go along with Sam Kerr, just a legend in soccer, to get 4 goals in 1 game. So Morgan did it earlier this year against Gotham, one that I'm sure Gotham would like to forget when she scored all 4 for San Diego. As Hamilton takes off, looking for the brace, and it's wide. Boy, she's been electric, though.
Looking to add to her team's lead. And this, I think the worrisome part right now for San Diego is a lot of these passes that are they're just simple, and they break one line of pressure, and it seems like Kansas City's in behind. Really, for San Diego, they're not making Kansas City connect 1, 2, 3, 4 passes before they can break into the final third. It's 1 or 2 passes and they've been in. So whether that's the role of the first defender and really pushing them in different directions in terms of services and denying some of those entry balls, they've got to get those moments corrected. And you really haven't seen too much offensively from San Diego here in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it's important to note, too, that Kansas City is in the midst of 4 straight games at home. So a lot of their season was away. They've kind of had to deal with some adversity. And here comes Bennett. Definitely does not have some help, but Bennett's going to go for it. Gurma denies cleanly. Bennett's down. Gurma just plays on. Again, 2 rookies making some noise for their sides. Bennett had a goal and an assist against Orlando. She really was the sole reason, as ball gets whistled for a handball there. Bennett was the sole reason that Kansas City even earned a draw in that match against Orlando. Once she came in, she got that assist, and then she scored.
And I know it's still early on in the season, but you're really starting to see a lot of these teams solidify what they look like, the framework in terms of the principles of play. We talked about it on and off the ball. And when you talk to these coaches and you talk to a lot of the players, you obviously get the sense that it is a game-by-game basis. You're not looking big picture just yet, but how big would 3 points be tonight for Kansas City?
From McGrady, headed out by Del Fava. Corner coming for San Diego.
You talk about some of the deception that Kansas City had on their short corner earlier on, and same goes there for San Diego, going wide and then looking for the header in.
McGrady again, back post over the crossbar. Real, who already has a goal on a set piece this year, was the one that headed that out.
Really, again, a ball finding its way into the top of the 6-yard box, and Kaylee Real just needing to guide that on frame and test AD Franch.
AD Franch with the kick here finally got a shutout, because she didn't actually get the shutout in the Challenge Cup that Kansas City had. It was their backup keeper in Miller in net at the time. And so Franch got her first shutout of 2022 in that victory over Louisville. Just a real complete effort. And it was also the first time in 8 matches in league play that Kansas City earned a shutout.
Well, and I think they would really enjoy finding an additional goal or 2 if they can throughout this match to ease the pressure that they played with on Monday against Racing Louisville, scoring Lola Bonta that penalty kick in the 3rd minute, and really seeing the game out and really playing through a lot of those pressure moments and navigating that 90-minute match. scoring here tonight early again. But you know when you're playing a San Diego Wave team that is so strong offensively as well, that you really enjoy finding another one here in the first half if possible. Because there's no question that San Diego is going to start gaining their footing and start getting into a rhythm here.
Ball. Again, Elizabeth Ball for Kansas City. Hamilton has the score. Left wing with Bennett. Cross, Sheridan lunges forward. It was pretty close because Pickett was charging forward.
You just continue to see it here in the first half for Kansas City is the commitment to get runners in the box, the commitment to the variety of runs in that final third as well. When we were talking to Matt Potter this week, his concern would have been more about not creating chances, and they have created chances. It's just about rewarding themselves and adding that final product.
Taylor to Alex Morgan. Morgan, ball intercepts, bounces around in the box. Here's a shot, and it's flung off target. Definitely deflected off of someone from McGrady, and so it is going to be a corner kick.
Really good run and really good entry ball here to Alex Morgan. And really a bit of a nervy moment for Kansas City because they get 1, 2, 3 opportunities to play this ball out of the box, and unfortunately still ends up at the feet of Jody Taylor there.
Nothing there. McNabb, far side. Lofted up to Franch. Right back. Breedy to Morgan. Franch tries to beat her. Morgan again. Taps it off to Korniak, and a corner's coming. Boy, that seemed like it was going to be a disaster.
Yeah, A.D. Franch went chasing down the ball for Alex Morgan, and you thought for a moment there that Morgan would have been able to turn and find a teammate there inside the 18-yard box, but just no numbers, no players open there, having to hold up play just enough for Kansas City to the ability to get numbers back behind the ball again. Now defend this corner kick.
Franch kind of pushed her wide as well. But an opportunity for San Diego. From McGrady, soaring towards the back post. Bounced out, headed out of trouble by the defense for Kansas City. But here's a look. Taylor collides with Franch. Both go tumbling down, and Franch is happy to help Taylor up. Well, it's going to be a foul called on Jody Taylor.
I think if there's one aspect here so far in this first half, it's been some of these initial clearances from Kansas City on these corner kick opportunities. We've seen it a number of times thus far. San Diego getting a second or third chance, and you don't want those to come back and hurt you, especially when we talked about it when we were talking to Rich Gunny, was the ability to defend those scripted plays as well. So for Kansas City, just being a bit more effective on that initial clearance.
Ally is proud to support this presentation of the National Women's Soccer League. Ally, do it right. For Morgan, ball again, phenomenal. Labonta with the touch. Del Fava for Bennett. Offside.
Elizabeth Ball is just picking up where she left off, playing centrally on Monday and doing a terrific job of covering that space in behind, really recognizing those moments where that longer pass, that service is going to be played in. And that's really some of the detail that goes unnoticed, is that recognition of when that ball is going to be played over the top, and the ability to drop and cover and make sure that you've got that support. Tremendous job thus far from Elizabeth Ball in this back three as well, really containing those services and that pressure played in behind.
Kristen Edmonds for Kansas City, sending everybody forward. Edmonds has played over 10,000 minutes in the NWSL. She's the only member of the active current squad to reach that mark. Labanta gets it right back for Kansas City, trying to move quickly off Taylor. Tackled out by Real, a corner for Kansas City. Crowd's delighted. Scored off of one of these already today, a header from Hamilton in the 11th minute. Lots of young fans out to support the Current today and also to celebrate Pride. Pickett, Labanta. Before any of that, offside is called. I could see it, just a hair.
And why change the corner kick if it worked already? Obviously there, San Diego recognizing the space that they could step up into and drawing Lo Labanta offsides there.
Real pokes it to Westfall. Back to Sheridan. Morgan, Korniak. Ball intercepts. There's Scott. Real, Van Egmond, 50 NWSL regular season appearances for Van Egmond. Came over in a trade with Orlando. Korniak also a piece of that trade, just based on the minutes and the success for San Diego early here. Turns out that was a very good trade for the expansion side.
And Korniak, a player that is yet to get involved offensively so far tonight, and it's a matchup that I highlighted briefly in the open, is that matchup between Korniak and Desiree Scott, and we see it so many times in games and in matches, is those second balls, those second chance opportunities become defining moments in matches. And when you have a team like San Diego that has that ability to find balance between possession and those moments to go direct, that second ball opportunity, whether it's coming off that back three and dropping into midfield, you just haven't seen that involvement from Korniak just yet.
Weinbrenner. Bennett. Out. Yeah, Desiree Scott has really been an unsung hero for Kansas City, especially during that Challenge Cup run. Again, made it to the semifinals, lost to North Carolina, who ended up winning the Challenge Cup against Washington Spirit. But again, she's never scored an NWSL goal. She's just out here doing the little things for Kansas City.
And that's absolutely right. What you just said is those little things, those little details, disrupting plays before they happen, screening, denying entry passes. And especially when you're a team like Kansas City Current that are playing in that back three, in that three-back system with those two wing backs, it's so important that you have a player like Desiree Scott that can sit in front of that three and really be effective of being a ball winner, a distributor, a disruptor.
Morgan was looking to disrupt there. French gets it out in time. Sails through, but back with San Diego. Korniak keeps on going. Through some contact there. Taylor off the header. Nobody home, so French with the easy stop. Next Kansas City home game is against Gotham FC on June 11th. So you can go to kansascitycurrent.com/tickets to purchase those today. Remember, until the international window, Kansas City is at home. They've only got 2 more matches before that international window at the end of June, but they're all at home. San Diego has a pretty similar run coming up. They've got 2 of their next 3 at Torero Stadium because this is going to end 4 straight away for San Diego. So, I mean, these are teams that, you know, had some wonky things going on with their schedule, some adversity. And Gunny was talking about what it's like to travel, and, you know, they've just keep on trekking through it, trying to pull off a comeback win against Kansas City on the road.
Yeah, and he mentioned it. It was each trip is different and requires different details, but each player has their own routine, their own rhythm, their own ability to prepare themselves, take care of themselves, and there's just a lot of different aspects and elements that go into travel.
Hamilton, Bennett. They have a great chemistry, the pair of them. Gurma rejects on that one, though. You know, there's just a lot of really good center backs in the NWSL right now as ball collides with a teammate, and it looks like Scott is down after that. Oh, on the replay, Scott is in a ton of pain, and just a freak accident there. But you can see it. Hits Ball's shoulder and immediately goes down, and because that is an apparent head injury, training staff is immediately called on. We were talking about just moments ago how much Scott means to this club. As Edmonds checks in on her. Can see that prior to this game, as again, hopefully Scott is okay, that Labonta got honored because her last match was 100. And what a way to celebrate that with that PK in the 3rd minute. It's the fastest PK in NWSL history, I should say. Get some love from her coach. Potter has some family there as well. But Labonta, you know, was off or out with some COVID issues, COVID protocol, and then once she returned, they were so happy to have her back. And she showed her stuff today, too, was a key part of that Hamilton goal because she was the one taking the corner. Does look like Scott is up and again getting some attention here. Again, it's just a collision between Ball and Scott.
And it's those collisions that you can't prepare for, as you saw Desiree Scott turning to her right and then catching that left shoulder of Elizabeth Ball. Those are the ones that really shake you up. Hope that she's able to continue. Does look like they're just taking a look at Desiree Scott's nose, and doesn't seem like they're going through any sort of, I mean, it seems like they've passed through in terms of gone through the concussion protocol already, or at least some of those initial tests. So hopefully she's cleared to continue.
And just cleaning up a little bit as Potter in good spirits, and Stoney directing her team and her assistants right now because San Diego is down 1-0 on the road. Scott's gonna get up, get some water. Just a warrior, Scott.
Yeah, you could see visibly shaken up. As you mentioned, she's an absolute warrior. She's going to find a way to continue and really do what she's been doing throughout the first 35 minutes in this first half.
All right, we will resume play as Alex Morgan immediately going the other way. San Diego quickly earns a corner. You can see Scott racing back out there. Again, there was a fair amount of blood there, and Scott just keeps on going. Now, San Diego has played in all of their away games, all 4 of them have been 1-goal games, and the score, whether it's a win or a loss, has been 1-0. So obviously with the score now, they want to stop that trend right here. Van Egmond slices it. That hits somebody's hand. Question is who?
And this goes back to some of the struggles Kansas City has had with that initial clearance on these corner kicks. And it does look like this is going to lead to a penalty kick for San Diego.
Yeah. Looked like it hit Ball's arm. So, yeah, it is a PK.
It looked like it rolled up Weinbrenner a little bit and then hit Elizabeth Ball in the arm. So really unfortunate for Kansas City, but again, just these clearances and their ability to make first contact on these corner kicks, giving Alex Morgan the opportunity to equalize here.
Branch gets ready. Alex Morgan already has made 3 PKs this year. Can she make a 4th? Magic from Alex Morgan, the equalizer, and her 7th goal this year. 4th finish on a PK. She's perfect from the spot this season.
And really just highlighting how deceptive the approach is there. Adi Franch just unable to get a read on this penalty kick by Alex Morgan. Just calmly tucks it away on the right side of Adi Franch, equalizes for her team. And you were just talking about reversing the trend of these 1-0 games on the road. But we had spoken about it prior to this match. We felt like this was going to be a game that opened up just a bit. And I don't mean tremendously high scoring by any means, but we felt like Kansas City was really starting to put together a really consistent performance offensively, creating chances, really getting those the commitment to numbers in the 18-yard box. And that was through the last couple of games, not just in this matchup. And then for San Diego, just an explosive offensive attack so far this season. So we knew that this matchup was going to be a fun one to watch, and a 1-0 scoreline was going to be a tough one to really read. So we really felt like it was going to be a couple goals that were going to decide this result.
So by the way, as Hamilton tries to get another one, that's 7 games and 7 goals for Alex Morgan. By far the leader in the NWSL, as you just see that we had a yellow card against Yexley, who's the assistant for Kansas City. Not sure if maybe Kansas City thought that that wasn't a handball. It was kind of tough from our angle, but it did look like from the replay that it did roll off of Weinbrenner and Ball. But I'll say at first I wasn't sure. Referee today is Kevin Broadley. Been pretty fair. We haven't seen a ton of physical play, but it just hurts so much after Scott went down and she gets back in for that corner. But that all was created by Alex Morgan. She's the one that earned the corner. And then chaos ensues in the box, and she hits the PK, and it's almost like clockwork with Alex Morgan at this point.
But it's also been trending that way a bit for Kansas City with that inability to get some of these clearances and that initial contact out of the dangerous areas, and really leading to that handball and that penalty kick.
By the way, also, because with Alex Morgan, there's always all these stats to think about. As Edmonds off a service and an out by Girma. That's now 45 career goals for Alex Morgan. She's still in 6 all time. Already passed Carly Lloyd this year, but she now sits 1 away from Kristen Press on the Angel City side, who has 46 in her career. That could be a battle that kind of ensues for the rest of this season. One hop to Sheridan. San Diego has some new life off a PK from Alex Morgan. Hamilton scored the first one in the 11th minute off a set-piece header for Kansas City. Labonta. Edmonds coming up wide on that left side. Labonta takes it herself. And boy, that looked like it might have the texture to go in, but it does not.
And that's that explosiveness from Lo LaBonta out of midfield. The ability to occupy multiple defenders, opening up space for Edmonds and Hamilton there on that left side. And that opportunity, taking the deflection, now earning her team another corner kick.
Loera. To Bennett. Weinbrenner came up, got a piece of that one. Head to head with Girma. Another one coming for Kansas City.
Really looked like Bennett was in a tremendous position there on that corner kick service. Just overran it just a bit. She was able to sit on that far post.
Pickett. Bolting forward. Gets knocked down. And they'll say before that, as you can see from the Kansas City reaction, that a foul is called.
And really now both teams exchanging nervy moments defensively on corner kick opportunities.
Yeah, this game has certainly picked up in intensity. Too much power on that one. Franch comes out.
I still think what needs to be a bit concerning from the San Diego Wave standpoint is the ease in which Kansas City is able to go from their own defensive half to the attacking third, and their ability to do it in 1 and 2 passes and play through those lines of pressure, where it does seem like San Diego is really having to string a number of opportunities together and connect passes and link play up to generate an opportunity.
Korniak rips one into the crowd. It's been a couple of turnovers for Kansas City right about that spot that have almost resulted in scores for San Diego.
And I was just about to say, with what I was talking about with the build-up play from San Diego, what helps is winning the ball higher up the field. And I think we've seen that from San Diego throughout the season, and really attributes to what they do offensively is winning the ball 40, 50 yards away from frame, and really the ability to transition quickly. And you just haven't seen it as much in this matchup. Kansas City doing a tremendous job of valuing the ball, keeping possession, really recognizing moments.
Well, the next home game for San Diego is against Portland. That's June 8th, so that's coming up here in just a couple of days. Go to San Diego Wave FC.com/tickets. Always a great crowd, and that should be a really fun matchup. Portland with a 3-0 victory yesterday, very decisive against Angel City. Labonta. Van Egmond guarding, fancy footwork. Labonta shoved out, Westphal crowding as well. In the corner, and a frustration foul.
And it's in a spot where you can really run what your typical corner kick would be. It's in that area where you can draw upon things that you've worked on within training. They've gone short on a number of corner kicks thus far.
Labonta. Loera trending towards the post. No one heads it home. Another opportunity. 3 minutes of stoppage time presented by Verizon. Again, 3 minutes of stoppage time. Well, that's plenty of time for somebody to take the lead going into halftime. Again, Kansas City, San Diego, first ever meeting between these two sides. It's been an exciting first half, and we're not through yet. Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City. Del Fava. Hamilton. Sheridan with the scoop up.
And for all the momentum that Kansas City had early on in this first half, you still see it for San Diego. 1-1, you get to halftime, you can make those adjustments. You really haven't gotten into the rhythm that you'd like to be in if you're the Wave. And then for the Kansas City Current, it's really just tightening up a few of the miscues that they've had in their defensive third, and you have to feel good about the opportunities that you're creating if you're Matt Potter and his coaching staff and the players.
Current get it right back after a missed connection. Seemed like a pretty decent opportunity. Again, Potter coming off of that first win in league play. And they were pretty happy about it, but I think they felt like it was more of a relief than anything, just to finally get that one out of the way. And just reinvigorated, it seems like, Kansas City tonight against San Diego. Of course, it helps when you have a crowd like they do on Pride Night, and also, you know, to get it for a team like San Diego. Always, at this point, gonna have a target on their back because they are first right now in the NWSL standings. And, you know, I think teams maybe, I think I felt like Portland yesterday wanted to say, hey, Angel City, welcome to the league. Welcome, you know, we're introducing you to what it's really like to play in this league. And I think a lot of teams want to do that against San Diego and just kind of ruin the party for the Wave.
And for sure, we talk about teams developing and really building that framework and that identity and the principles. And 6 games in, teams are going to have a good idea of who they are. So we see Korniak getting a yellow on the challenge on Victoria Pickett.
First yellow card for a player tonight. Remember, a coach got one for Kansas City, but yeah, a clip there against Pickett, who's slow to get up here for Kansas City.
That looks like Korniak caught her clean on that left ankle, right inside left ankle. See how painful that is.
ball. Back and forth with Scott, who was dealing with an injury. Got hit in the nose by Ball in just a freak collision and is still playing. Morgan gets tripped up, and we'll get a whistle there. Pickett was on her way, and Morgan now slow to get up on the green for San Diego. And it appears that's also the final whistle between Kansas City and Kansas City and San Diego. She has teammates, Alex Morgan, but she did do it all herself there, scoring-wise for San Diego with that PK to make it 1-0, and Hamilton has the other goal for Kansas City.
And for Kansas City, really just stick to the game plan. You're executing, just find that opportunity and finish that opportunity. And for San Diego, you weathered the storm a bit there. Now continue to find a bit of a rhythm and play on that front foot.
We'll see what happens here in the second half. Again, we have an even score between Kansas City and San Diego. Alex Morgan getting in on the party with yet another PK, but first it was Hamilton. Look at that header. 1-1 at halftime. We'll be back with the Ally NWSL matchup right here on CBS Sports.